Hey guys, just want to make a little video showing you how I color grade my LUTs with these Sony files. I know some people have been having a lot of trouble or just not really feeling the way these Sony files pull. I, for one, have really loved what I've gotten and just kind of want to give you a quick overview on how I do it. You can be using my own LUTs. You can find the link below. Here is the original shot, all shot on Zeiss glass, kind of give you an idea of where I'm starting from. And I will go ahead and usually throw my color board on first and then early metry for those Premiere users, and then throw on the custom LUT, which is just a regular LUT loader. And we'll start with Rome and kind of show you that's straight out, that's like one click, ready to go, let's go. Now the cool thing is with having your color board on top of your LUT, you have a lot more control over the actual footage rather than the final image. So, for example, if I want to make it a little darker, I'm actually getting some detail back in his face, as opposed to it just being completely blown out. For me, this is pretty much good to go. I'm ready to move on to the next clip, which is so rad. Here is another clip. I used the Traveler Lut on this one, and with the color board, just kind of pulled it down, but I'll reset it just so you can see what it's going to look like straight out. That's what it looks like with just that LUT applied, before and after. Now some of you may be like, the greens look too warm. It's like, this is a stylized LUT. It is what it is. If you want it to be a little more green, I can still go to Rome and retain those. Again, no adjustment on the color board. This is just the LUT. I haven't done anything to this yet. Amalfi is going to be kind of the same way. It's very warm. And if you want to make some adjustments to it, generally the warmth is going to be in the shadows, so I can just kind of cool it down a little bit, kind of get it back. Like, there's so much you can do with these LUTs, with the color, that I really love. And the goal for me with these LUTs was never to overdo it, but was just to be enough to make it look clean and stylized without being overdone, and still be well within the boundaries of the footage without clipping anything or being too over the top. This one here is shot with Priano, and I'll show you what it looks like before and after. This is with the LUT right there. The LUT's really strong, so I figured, you know what, let's go and approach it in a way that's very simplified. So if it's too much contrast, I'm just going to pull up the shadows a little bit and pull down my highlights. This is picture profile off, so a lot of the information is going to be in the highlights. Just looking at it like this, it's like, okay, just make some small adjustments, cool it down a little bit, and just kind of make it work. And this is kind of here how the shot looks unrolling. And it's just so nice. Just looking at color like this for me, and I really do hope this helps, because I find a lot of people will just look at it so systematically, and it's just the color doesn't look that way. Just use your eyes, trust it. And I can pretty much guarantee that within my scopes, it's gonna be pretty much correct. Like, nothing's gonna be too out of the ordinary. Like, exposure wise, I'm kind of where I want to be. It's just being hyper intentional. Now I could try to keep this within the sides of trying to be at the. I mean, I'm under 100, which is for me is great. And this is a little bit of a moodier film, I would say. Again, I'm not clipping my highlights. I'm well within where I want to be. If you want to see here on the actual, let's see where that guy is. Goes to show you how often I use this stuff, guys. I really don't. I really use my eyes. But I know generally my skin tones are going to be in this general area there. So I'm never really concerned about it looking weird or anything like that. This shot here I'm actually super pumped for. This is just using my Rome LUT, essentially. I'll kind of show you what's happening there. So straight at a camera, that's what it looks like. It's a solid image, and I think that's key with color grading this video from Sony, is just making sure you're intentional with your exposure and your color, and the rest of it will just kind of fall into place in post. Like, there's never had a problem looking at it like that, in that kind of mindset. Here again is another shot. I want to say this was just underexposed. Oh, I just have a lot of stuff going on with this initial one. Here, straight at camera. Throw color board on top, and then we'll throw the LUT on top again, and we'll do Rome for me, which is my go-to. That's straight at a camera, or that's one click. Haven't done anything yet. And for some, it may be too dark. We can definitely pull it up. For others, it may be too bright, maybe too warm. The key here is to know how to utilize your tools. The LUTs are tools, and I think at the end of the day, you have to know what your end vision and your goal for what you want your final look to be in order for you to actually know what you're doing, rather than just mindlessly blowing through LUTs and just trying to figure out like, oh, this is the trend for now. It's like, well, for me, I'm trying to really be as timeless as possible, and be hyper intentional with the kind of look that I want to go for. So again, I would do this one just so you can see. This is severe mixed lighting. It's not ideal. And let's see. I'm gonna put on the highlights a little bit and just cool my midtones. And honestly, that's not terrible. Add some purple in my shadows a little bit. It's really not bad. And if it looks desaturated, just boost that sucker up, Like, do whatever you see that doesn't look right to you. Make those adjustments. There's no reason for you to have to make this super methodical thing, or super crazy difficult thing with color. Just look at it simply and just go for it. And really, this can go with almost any LUT that I've worked with, and even with S-Log. I approach it the same way, and it just makes it so much easier to just manipulate color the way I want it. So I hope this video helps. My LUTs are down below. Gonna do a shameless plug there. And for me, it has been a huge game changer after I made these. A lot of time was spent trying to make sure that I could get a wide variety of looks that were tweakable, and not necessarily a one-hit wonder kind of thing. I'm able to get a lot of different stylized looks, and don't be afraid to stack your LUTs too. For example, I actually have a LUT I'm working on right now. That's kind of what I would consider my finisher, and it's kind of got like a very interesting roll to the highlights. I also have a black and white LUT as well, that will be eventually available at some point. But again, like there's a lot you can do, and don't be afraid to mix and match, stack them, mix them, whatever. Just approach it simply, and I think that's the goal. A little bit goes a long way in every step. So I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, leave comments below, DM me, whatever you want. I'd love to help you out.